This bastard doesn't know the rules. A warrior drew his sword to attack them. A bunch of bastards came here and sent people away. You want me to talk to you according to the rules? Rules are only used by people who have rules. You don't deserve it. My blood has risen. He grinds his teeth against this bastard. He tried to hold the sword. You want to move? Wait a minute. Come back in 3 hours. Then prepare yourselves psychologically to die. The angry foot asked, if so, this time, can we understand that was the idea of the painting? White sky behind me replied, maybe. You don't understand the meaning of what I said earlier. In my eyes. You didn't secretly make such a statement. Sao. He tried to pull out his sword, but he pulled it back and said, White sky, you said no wrong. One day I will give you a day. At this hour of tomorrow, I will bring you to San Francisco. According to your will. Because this is what you suggested. So you remember. Let's deal with this according to the rules of the gypsies. You have to know that no matter what, whatever it is that's unfortunate, you can't blame us either. Chinese Cotton stood there looking disdainful. Then you asked me, didn't he? You just said 3? I'll do it later. Then there's no need to leave until tomorrow. Don't tell me you're scared. Just jump up, remember? Chung Cotton stood there helplessly thinking, I can't say one less thing. If you say that, it's only going to drive him crazy. Yewon is angry. This guy is driving me crazy. He gripped the sword because of anger. He thought of something and let go. His hands clasped. He announced in a loud voice, tomorrow at this hour, I'll be glad to see you again. Then he turned around. The face is very calm. But the hands are tight. It shows how angry he really was. The monks see that. He turned around and hurried along. Qian suddenly asked, wow, but I could not help it. No, the name is Vo. Silly paint suddenly to the point of falling to the ground. You really don't believe what's going on. My eyes. The middle ass said, I'm not saying you can trust us. Now you can put your head up, straighten your legs and sleep. He comes to grab the foot of the middle buttocks. I asked you if I could sleep with my feet straight. Do you finally know what you've done? I just want you to be able to reconcile with them. But you do. It's going to push us into a full-scale war. Where? Who? Oh, my neck is dead. He was talking when his pain recurred. My ass doesn't know what to ask. Maybe we did something wrong. Chun replied, it's not us, it's just you. The martial artist side is. The monks kept chasing and asking. Brother, why do you even say, give them until tomorrow? Brother, why don't we just smash into their brains right away? Let those bastards wake up. The brother stopped. I asked you to say now. The master immediately said, yes, right now. Or we can go back and let them know. He asked if he knew why we were dating. Are they tomorrow? I don't know how to say this. feet screaming loud. Because if we go back now and find something, I don't know. I will kill the honorable man. It's called middle butt. Soon, those bastards will realize how bad they're doing. What's going to happen to them? If those bastards turn woe, they are becoming my enemy. Back to the photo gallery. Lai Sun in a coma had a strange dream. In a dream, he was a child. There are people calling San Ni paint the house. The boy turned around and realized father. Who is Sao? He said that painting is the name of the great sect. It can be called such a name. Because of the predecessors of Hua Sun, there was a lot of sweat and blood. However, now Hua Sun is in trouble, but there will be a day it will be resurrected and regain my former glory. Once again, he will be famous all over the world. So don't just look at the situation of the mountain at this point in time, but leave it and shun it. Always go with it for one day. Photo of our subject. We will send the best paint to the sky. One step to the sky. Remember your father's words. You must protect the paint. Live and die with it. You just woke up too. He sat up sweating mockingly. He looked around and asked. It was just a dream. The man standing next to the bed said nothing. Suddenly, the laughter of the middle butt echoed into the room. In the dining room, he laughed. Ha 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 ha, it's delicious. It's an illusion. Give me that plate of meat, brother. Yogin said. I'm going to starve because I have nothing to eat. If you eat all your portions, stop. Ai Yogin, can you stop being so mean? He tried to get a plate of meat and said. The Yogin runs with a plate of meat. Let go of your hand. Don't let me cut off your hand. Hoa photo subject heard throbbing. Get dressed and run to the dining room. Open the door, he asked angrily. Hey guys, is this wine party SAO? When is the time? And you're still eating and drinking. When the boy saw his father, he stood up and ran to help him, and said, your father is here. The white angel also stood up and said, Master Wei, please forgive me. That the children of the liberal arts. It has become a habit. Middle Butt Chen asked the Master S words. Or you can have a cup of fun too. You are mad at this guy. He's having an internal injury. Drink something. To live, you have to be a little brainy. Think about it, asshole. You are powerless to think, father. The name you say is this. I want to die. Let's finish. Thought then he sighed. Say you. After thinking carefully, then the flower, we decide. Give up and withdraw from this land of Indonesia. Even though he's far from where his navel-cutting vegetables are buried, it's not easy. But it came about because of this. Then the apocryphal has no other way. Say whatever you want. Thanks to you, I can take advantage of one day. During that time, Wei Mo will arrange to leave. It's going to end here. White Sky spoke up. Master Wei, I know you still don't fully trust us. But please give. Not finished what you said. Don't say that. Any fool would dare not believe in you. It is only the enemy that is sending. Once we turn the martial arts into our enemies, maybe we can stop them for a while. It can be stopped forever. But that kind of thing will continue. So the camera has only one way to leave. After drinking a glass of wine, I asked, "Which subject, master? Even if you don't say this." I was going to ask, "In this place, there's something worthwhile thereafter." Because their behavior is too extreme. Even more so, the name of the school does not do that. Sun replied, "What is worth, as you say? What in the world is stupid? But in this land of Indonesia, nothing seems to be worth it. If Indonesia does have something as valuable as you say it is, then everyone paid it off. 6 toss this Indonesian land up." The buttocks listened and said yes. In your heart is thinking, if there's any information that the apocryphal masters know, the people of this land of Indonesia are no AI. I don't know, that's why it has to be information. Not everyone knows. But the wooks are there in the mouth, always muttering. Infinite life Buddha, until death. They didn't disclose it either. But one thing is certain. They have to know something. You force people so much. Hoa photo subject continued. Even though SAO until tomorrow morning when the sun rises. Then you can go back to the mountain. I'll take care of the rest of this place. Chinese Cotton said again, "You can't do that, Master Wei. We have taken orders from the master. Assigned before you leave. The issue of the photo is not resolved. Then we can go back to the mountain." "I know the way," Master said. "This is not easy to solve." But Hoa-san, how can we forget the grace of Goddess Grace? After all these years. He said, "My son, before. It is not because of the difficulty of abandoning your own sect. There are people in the world who don't know." After hearing those words, Wei Li's son immediately thought of the Middle Buttocks chief. It's not random people. I call him the Dragonflower. Maybe we've overestimated him too closely. He drank another drink and said, "Master, I have something to ask you before. If you say anything, just say it. If it can help, the puppet will not refuse." The man put the wine down and said, "If so. If you want some bad wine, can you bring me another bottle?" 1 bottle is too little. Just take 3 bottles. Take as much as you have. After that, you have another thought. Of course, my first impression of him was not wrong. Back on the side of the sword, it's somewhere in Indonesia. A brother asked his brother, "What are you thinking right now?" In the words of the owner, he could have run away tonight. Feet immediately replied, "Hoa picture of the owner. He really can do that." But the disciples of the Hua sect, I'm not sure. Why do you think that? The 2nd-generation disciple of Vo is asking. His brother said again, "It's because of their bad name that they'll stay there." The people of the religion, not too attached to the name. But if one day they get a reputation, go beyond what they can get, those people will die to protect that name. That name has been honored. The dragon flower. It's even more impossible to get rid of its name. So if that kid opens his mouth to fight me, but the battle retreated, it will be a joke to the world. So it can't go. Foot covered continued, "I just want them to be ashamed of themselves and walk away." But I'm afraid they're like deaf people who aren't afraid of guns. I don't know what shame is. My feet also said, if they didn't know what self-shame was. We just need to teach them a lesson. Let them realize. Right, from a young age, it's already got that reputation on its shoulders. So maybe he won't see anything in his eyes. And take it for granted. Not. It's the responsibility of an adult like me, is to take the burden off his shoulders. Give it a lesson to know its fate. Or Sao. I agree that you are right, brother. He just kept talking. I have not forgotten our true purpose. To this land of Indonesia. Whether it's a flower or a flower. It's the same. They're all nasty FLIs. They just need to remove their ears and their eyes. From this land of Indonesia, it's okay if it goes well this time. Then our martial artist will take a step to heaven. But far from the forest. At that time, Vo will be the first generation of the world. He said he thought in his heart. That's why we're here. Doesn't even regret publishing a fake cult. Is Tung Tao. Just because it's a strain. This is the grave of the sword. If it can proceed as planned. The day martial arts, we can kick the world under our feet. It's not far. Then he smiled and looked away. The next morning, the sound of the middle butt echoed through the yard. He dreamt of saying, I drank a little too much yesterday. Face that looks ass like an alcoholic. Mouth constantly muttering AIO. It seems like my stomach isn't doing well. My son is angry at this guy. You drink just right, right? I didn't even keep my eyes on you. That's all the wine. It doesn't stop there. Chinese Cotton is constantly scolding, that son of a bitch. I told you there was nothing wrong with my body. Just open your eyes, then I drink again. I still drink wine and talk. Even if the wine is good, you tell me I have to stop. He feels uncomfortable. Listen to your brother's complaint. Brother, stop talking nonsense. My head is all gone. Yugen couldn't help but speak up. When is the time to drink? How do you fight with this shape of yours? He hurried to answer. You just need to wake up. And brother, he kept complaining about the smell of alcohol. The white sky also feels uneasy because of the smell of alcohol on the body. In the way master's room, a man talking to his father. Dad. The boy continued. I followed your orders to summon all the brothers in the and locked the door. His father only had one. Please continue talking, father. The students of the martial arts will be here soon. You said we wouldn't fight them. The little boy asked again. You said fight them. There's a thought in his head. The truth to tell. The people of the painting. To provoke the disciples of the martial arts. It's not our art. If we were enlightened to leave this land of Indonesia, he doesn't have to raise his legs for that. Lower people's forearms. There is almost no loss of life. But if we become their enemy, I am determined to lose enough with you. Then the disciples of the Lord. Sao can avoid the first scene of bleeding. Then we and the asteroid are forced to throw away our thoughts. Peaceful escape from this place. At that time, the anxiety, it was also evident on his son's face. After a long thought, the father asked the asteroid, what would you do if you were me? The boy was silly at his father's question. After a long time of thinking, his face looked pale. In a steely voice, the boy replied, "Of course. Come, I think I will fight with the paint." Outside the campus, middle buttocks are still drinking to the tide. It makes everyone lose their hands. Yoan also said, "Oh, this crazy guy." It's the opposite of choose cool ass. It's the thoughts that keep popping up in your mind. People who come are always guests. We've always been the owners of this place. There is no way the owner of the house is sitting idly by. Watch other people kill with the enemy outside. The boy insisted on speaking his mind. And above all, that's why I respect you and love you. It's because he's devoted to this place. There was a time when I felt sorry. When we don't stop spending money for a sect that's about to collapse like paint. But I see in your eyes pride. When it is the sectarian tradition of Hoa Sun, what people give without ever having to give back. That's right, this place. There are pictures. You have the heart of a lifetime. Why don't we stand up for it? Protect the sectarian family of the painting. The son's words. It touched his heart and mind. Two, his hands clasped and said, "The sect of Hoa Sun. I've always been proud of that." "You're right, asteroid." His son proudly clapped his chest. Even if it is a religious sect, the disciple is still a disciple. Who says we don't belong to the Hua Sect? Say it. Why can we just stand and watch, brother? My friends can fight. I used to play the Master of Arts in Muangsun. As soon as I heard about the incident in our school, then he sent his own man. There's no hesitation. Maybe the way they're going to solve this. It doesn't seem right in your eyes. But what's wrong? When they come to this place, it's to help us. The boy continued in a loud voice. "Daddy, even today I have to die. Then I will fight with the people of the mountain." The shy model thinks. He said even when he died, he still wants to be with the paint guy. Take a sip of air. I'm ashamed to think about it. It's not an everyday thing that we say. But when the danger comes, then I dare not confront, just thinking about running away. But he always kept it in his mind. The things that we used to teach. After a while he said, "Seriously, go and open the gate." Strictly inquiring, but still giving thanks. Apocryphal unit told, "Give the word to your disciples. Those who really want to fight the enemy, stay. Those who don't want to can leave and go home." The disciples left the flower at this time. Then later, the lawyer will not seek any responsibility. He continued to speak. If you go through all of this today, the flower still exists. The Lord will still accept them. Without any danger. Seriously worried. "Master, I'm afraid doing so will leave no one here." "Don't worry about a piece." He continued. "Isn't there still us and asteroids here and their SAO? That's enough. We will fight in the name of the mountain. Listen to your father here." Asteroid beaming call an hour. Stand quietly and calmly. And then he turned his head and said, "I see. So you two do as you think." I asked her if she was going to leave too. A comment turned his head. "I used to be. I've never fought in the name of a cat." He is a disciple of the flower. There is fighting. It is also in the name of this image. It's outside the campus. The drunken sound of the middle ass still lingers. He kept holding a bottle of wine and talking nonsense. I have to say, this wine tastes terrible. The buttocks asked again. Brother, they haven't come yet. Dejected White Sky replied, How do we know? Brother Bai Tian turned to the apartment to tell everyone. Everybody listen up. Until now, how annoying is everyone? I didn't say a word. But now we have to tell people that. The situation is different. Brother said more. The master once said that. This battle is like a firestorm. Notify the world later about our Hoa Sun's foreign policy. That's why I want people to understand. The battle today, it's not just our own battle. We are the shoulders of honor of Hoa Sun. Don't forget that. Everyone replied to me clearly and clearly. Brother. After the instructions are completed, he glanced at the middle of the sky and said, And also, the helpless man called the middle ass. And he answered unconsciously, I know. Know then, urge peace of mind. Tell him to understand. That's not what I meant. It's only if you do. I want you to confirm one thing. He is already my enemy. Then you don't have to take it easy. If you do, you have to do it to the end. He laughed in his stomach, oh hoo. This is not something we like very much. He asked the master. Is it true that the director said that or not? You're not a hypocrite, are you? The master only knows how to respond. Not on the way here, I said. They'll smash the heads of the bastards. Let the chief see it. Before the dancer came first, riding a crane to the sky. Laughing with pleasure, he replied. Not thinking about, it's becoming more and more open in thought. Suddenly, Zoe discovered something. I see the flow of people leaving. Everybody's wondering, looking out the door. And suddenly he said, Oh, they're disciples of the Buddha. White Sky continued. It seems to have temporarily opened the door to Ra or Sao. He seemed puzzled. He turned to ask, What is that? Wei Mon replied, Students who want to leave. They also opened the way for them to return to their homes. They didn't want to fight the enemy. The Wei Mo didn't force anything. Middle ass face bewildered. I don't know what's going on. Surprise model O. But don't think, there are still many people who have feelings for him. Stay with the enemy. Middle buttocks lying motionless said, It's a good school, of course. A group of people who are also good disciples. He thought again. They are no different now than they were that year. And at that time, Master Wei lowered his head and apologized to everyone. Last night, the spirit of chaos. So there are 7 feasts for the White Lord. Not in the heart. I would like to express my thanks. The flower-painted disciples. I don't mind the long journey to Indonesia. To help them in danger. He continued. Today, no matter what the outcome, Wei Mo and his followers stand with the leaders together against the enemy. Shy White Sky, Wei Master, please do not. Customer service is what we should do. The thoughts that pop up in the mind of Aries. Of course, it is. I've heard rumors. The master has the quality of a great master. See if that rumor is true. He understands the heart of the Lord. If you put me in his place, how can we trust people like this? In the current boiling water situation, The Chinese are saying, ha 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 ha, that's right. 35 customers, of course. Love must be different. And both Yogan and Chun Cotton are dumb raw, said Sao. I heard this guy talk about love. It's all about money. Then the people here who heard it didn't think so. He hasn't stopped talking. But the way, master. You won't have to pick your feet. Put your hands on anything. I asked him in a stupid way what he said. He drank and answered. Well, it's hard to explain. Let him understand. But you can just watch. Because today, you're going to see something crazy. A strange noise came from the door. People think, well, it looks like they're ahead of us. The sound of running hind acupressure shook the earth and sky. A group of people dressed in black appeared. They are all people of God. A leader with a face on his back. He screamed out loud and smashed them. When he heard his servant's orders, he said, yes, brother. The battle becomes intense. Everyone is flying. The enemy's feet were steady, as if ready to fight. He is about to draw his sword. Everyone inside the campus, be prepared to take on the enemy. White sky announces to everyone, they're here. First, there are 3 names. I just finished with the enemy without hesitation. Keep your head up, like an arrow has found its target. The midstream soared up like the wind. He and his wife are ready to fight the bad guys. The middle buttocks used the power of the inner. Put force into the hand. One shot made all 3 enemies fly away. Everyone is